Hi everyone and welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today I'm going to do an easy violin tutorial on Tokyo Ghoul Unravel, which is the opening piece. Here's the music. It's 2 pages long. I have it arranged for easy violin, or as easy as I can possibly make it. If you want to know where to get this music, there's a link to download it free as usual underneath this video, so go and click there. There's going to be a performance video of this as well. I've done an easy piano tutorial. All the links are going to be underneath this video, so go and head down there and you can get all the links. Just before I start off this tutorial and go any further, I just want to quickly do a little bit of a plug for my own new website. I've got a new website called www.alisonsparrow.com. It will be coming up here. Go and have a look there. And it's a new website that I've just developed, which is just basically encapsulate everything that I do on YouTube, but much better categorized into a specific website for piano and violin and theory and all that kind of stuff. So for those of you that might underneath the comments say things like, do you have a video on third position? Do you have a video on pizzicato? Do you have a video on vibrato? That kind of thing. I know that I do have those videos on YouTube, but some of you just find it quite difficult to find those videos. So I've taken all of the thinking out of that and I've placed everything into one website, which has been categorized perfectly. So do have a look there, because there might be some videos there that you might have never seen or didn't even realize that I had available. More tutorials, other tutorials, all that kind of thing. So go and head there, have a look, give me your thoughts and feedback. There's also a blog there as well, which I'm going to be adding to sort of as and when I think I've got something interesting to say. So without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so firstly, as I usually do, I'm just going to take you through how I've done this. It's very, very simple. So every single note has a finger number above it like this, and then these letters here refer to what string you're going to be on. So basically, you're going to be first finger on A, second finger also on A, first finger on A, open A. Then you change the D string, third finger on D, second finger on A, first finger on A, open A, and so on. So you're going to continue on the D string basically until you have to change to another string. So that's basically how I've done that. There are no repeats in here, so it just goes completely straight through. This actually goes with a backing track as well if you want to download that. I'll put a link in the description bar underneath as to where you can get the backing track that goes exactly where this. So this has all been completely arranged 100% by me. The music, obviously I haven't written the music, but the music that you're seeing here has been arranged by me. The backing track has been arranged by me as well. All just for you guys to make it nice and simple and easy. So go and head down there for that, and the music that you're seeing here goes perfectly in line with the backing track, as well as the performance that I've done as well. The first thing you're going to notice is the first fingers are all going to be back on the A string. So normally they would be somewhere around here. I don't have any dots or markers on my violin at the moment, but let's assume that the first finger would be roughly around here. Your first finger is going to be back as far as you can feel the little kind of ridge. It's actually called the nut, but back so far back that you can feel the ridge, not a little bit back, but really far back. The second fingers as well, so the first fingers are going to be there. Imagine the first fingers are normally here in a normal everyday situation. The second finger would be jammed in, or is going to be jammed in right next to where the first finger line, tape, dot, whatever you've got there is going to be. So the second finger is going to be there. The first fingers are always going to be back. They're going to be in a back position, and that's going to be on near enough all of the strings apart from the G string. When you get to bar 21, there's an A on the G string, and it's just going to be in its normal first finger position, but I'll go over that when I get there. But bar 21, the A, the first finger on the G string, is just going to be in its normal first finger position. Every other first finger on the D is going to be back. On the A is going to be back. On the E is going to be back as well. Second fingers are just going to be above where the normal first finger dot would be, if that makes sense. So again, I'm not going to play this all the way through because I do have a performance video on this. The performance video that I've got is a little bit different to this, and the sheet music is a little bit harder, but what I would do is put a link to the hard version of this as well that I'm going to be doing for any of you guys that just want to challenge yourself. But I warn you, there are a couple of bars in there that even I had to spend a little bit of time practicing, but I really wanted to put it in because it is kind of part of the tune. So pretty self-explanatory there. Again, if you just remember, the first fingers are back, the second fingers are where the first, or right jammed in next to where the first finger would normally be in its normal position. So when we get to bar 20, this is kind of where most of the videos that I've seen on YouTube, the other videos and recordings of people playing the violin, especially the violin for this, it's where there's some kind of, there's like an instrumental part going on with the backing track, and most of the violin videos that I've seen, people just sort of sit there and just do nothing for those bars. I don't like sitting there doing nothing for those bars. I like to always play as much as I can. So I put in a little bit of something for you, just so you're not sitting there going for 10 bars whilst the music's off and playing. It's nice to actually play something. So I've written something which is appropriate for that. It does go quite fast, because as you know, this piece actually is quite fast. Obviously you guys know this, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this tutorial. So let's say from bar 20, actually let's go from bar 19. Seem that difficult, but it's quite actually jumpy. So if I go a little bit slower, come a little bit closer and go a little bit slower from bar 19. Onto the G string there, your second finger, remember I said earlier about the first finger being on the G string in its normal position. All the other strings are going to be back, but on the G string the first finger is in its normal position. The second finger has to be jammed in next door to it, just like we pretty much would on all of the strings. So suffice to say, the third finger is always going to go in its normal place on the dot, if you like. Whenever you've got a second finger, it's going to be jammed in next to the first finger. On all of the strings, the first finger is back on E, A and D, and on the G string the first finger is there. So if you want to write that down or mark that down in your music, that might be a good idea to do that. So 20. Just jump over as quickly as you can to the A string. So here you've got a 2, 19, 21, 22, you've got a 2 on E, then you've got a 3 on A, and then you've got a 3 on the D as well. So try not to lift that up, try not to lift that third finger up, but just roll it over. So you know that's coming. You might want to mark that down in the music. You know it's coming, so don't do... Did you hear you get the A in the middle? You don't want that, it's very untidy. So what you're going to do is prepare. What I tend to do when I put my third finger down, I ever so slightly put it, I'll be in focus, there we are, I ever so slightly put it sort of kind of there, so that when I roll over, normally I would press with the fingertips as you guys would, but because I know I've got to roll over to that string, the D string, then if I place with the very fingertip like I normally would, you can see that I've got nothing left apart from my fingernail, which is just gonna end up sort of plucking the string like that. So what I'm gonna do is, can you see, instead of placing it on the very tip, I'm placing it sort of halfway here on my fingernail, almost sort of to the end of the cuticle, if that makes sense, if you know, for lack of a better word. And then I can roll it over, so when I roll it over it's on the fingertip and I've got enough. If I'm rolling it over, then I'm not going to create any kind of excess noise with any of the other strings that we don't want. Same thing again here. Sharp that you've got here in bar 25. Remember I was going on about all the first fingers are going to be back? Well, except for this one, this is the only one at bar 25. Your first finger to do an F sharp is going to be here in its normal position. So normally it would be back, but for this one, for the F sharp, it's going to be here in the normal position. I kind of think that that's pretty much everything. again, most of it is kind of just repeated, and I would say that the rest of it is sort of pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through and explain the rhythm, because you guys that know the tune are going to know the rhythm. This is exactly the same as the tune. I pretty much think it's in the same key as the original as well. And that's it really. You just play the notes and play the rhythm that you've got there, and there's nothing else that's going on in terms of where your fingers need to go that I need to tell you. So I think that's pretty much it for the tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you have fun when you download the sheet music and the backing track and put it all together and everything. I'm just going to stop talking, download everything. It's all going to be in the description bar underneath. Have a look at those, and I'll see you in the next video.